I'm Ashton Addison from Blockwest Capital for Investment Pitch Media, and today on the Crypto Coin Show we have Christian Niedermueller, CEO of BlockTrade. Christian, welcome to the show, and thank you for taking the time.
Hi Ashton, thanks for having me.
Dive into the world of exchanges your team are working on. I'd love to start off, first of all, by just hearing a little bit about yourself, your history in the space, and what led you to getting to this point.
Yeah, my pleasure. So I come from banking, traditional finance. So I've spent 15 years in traditional finance and private equity. But at the same time, also it's like for almost 10 years, I'm really following the blockchain technology and Bitcoin very closely. And for the last years, I've been very close with the crypto space. I co-founded a venture capital fund. I co-founded Digital Asset Association Austria, Dike Capital. So yeah, there are a few ventures I co-founded, and now I'm at BlockTrade for the last 1.5 years as the CEO and co-owner. And yeah, it's very exciting what we are building here right now.
Very cool, and I love that there's that inflection point where you're in traditional finance, you hear about the innovations going on in blockchain technology, and then you make that shift, and all of a sudden, I feel like things move really fast in cryptocurrency because it's still early on and there's a lot of innovations happening, especially in the exchange spaces with regulations and improvements upon efficiency of trading and different blockchains and all of these different facets that have to go into trying to build a trading ecosystem to equate to what traditional finance has already been trading for many decades, and like we're still so early on. So maybe you can explain a little bit about what is BlockTrade and what makes it special, and then we'll dive into the operations a little more.
Perfect. Yeah, sure. I mean, BlockTrade is theoretically, or was theoretically, when I took it over, an exchange like $500, it was a pretty normal exchange. But I don't think that you can survive with just being a normal exchange or one of 500. The big ones will survive just by volume and attracting enough customers, but that's not going to be the case for all the other exchanges. And that's why we went out approximately a year ago and analyzed a lot of data and really looked at what could make BlockTrade very special. And then we looked at our data, at our user demographics, and at a lot of other data points out there, and found that our user and the gaming profile, or the profile of a gamer, is actually very similar. And then we looked at everything, if this could be something we could pivot into as a cryptocurrency exchange to look more closely towards gamification gaming. And we really very much liked it. MVP'd then some mini games on the platform and gamification elements, and it worked out really well. Our customers loved it. The investors actually loved it as well. So yeah, that's why for the last 10 months we were building a whole gamification engine for BlockTrade. We have it live. It's fantastic. I think it's something no other exchange has. It's 50 levels with a lot of discounts. You get experience points like in gaming for everything you do on the platform. It's still a very responsible design from a gamification perspective. So it's not to drive someone into actions they don't want to do. It's also connected with our academy so that you are being educated while you're more or less also having playful elements on the platform. And then we also have our crypto Greek god avatars for each level. So we have 50 levels, and you get different discounts for every level. So it's very playful, very entertaining, and helps us to be something special to our customers and to offer some special elements on our exchange. And I mean, that's the first step. And the second step is now we will bring games actually on the crypto platform, onto the crypto exchange. And this will even more lead to even more interaction with our clients, will help us to drive new communities onto the exchange, will help us to create special B2B cases with game developers, gaming companies, game platforms. Yeah, so yeah, very exciting what we're building, I think.
Wow, that's really cool to hear. And I understand that gaming will be huge, merging with blockchain, but I haven't really heard of a success story where you really turned an exchange into gamification. I feel like in some aspects, it definitely makes it more exciting. But I guess there's that fine line of making it skill-based or not making it a gambling addiction because it's more fun because you've thrown games in there. So where do you how do you differentiate between something that's skill-based or something that's gambling?
Yeah, no, that's definitely we always look at everything from a very strict legal and regulatory point of view. So for sure, we already have a sophisticated legal opinion about what we are allowed to do, what we can do, and we definitely don't want to venture into gambling. Yeah, so everything you can play on the platform will be only with skill involved. Yeah, so skill needed. So no slot machine stuff and so on and so forth. Yeah, so it's just based out of pure luck. No, it will be we are looking to build our own games and as well to integrate games from other game publishers or interesting titles, but not sophisticated games like Fortnite or something like that. Yeah, it's more on the arcade side of things, more on things which are pretty easy to play. Let's put it that way. Yeah,
definitely. And I'm curious. You mentioned about understanding the demographics and how it's similar to game players. I know that gaming is sort of being expanded to mostly all ages, but I feel for the most part, gaming and crypto trading versus traditional finance has a bit of a younger audience. Have you narrowed down who are sort of the main players that are playing these games on BlockTrade?
Yeah, so that's maybe a little bit of a surprise also for your audience. We also this was also the perception of my team that it's just young people playing games, but especially with these little mini games like skill games, it's not just young people. Actually, maybe you do it as a test next time and think about what I'm just saying. Yeah, walk through a train or a plane and look who is playing games. Almost everyone, and especially also the age group between 40 and 60, they're playing a lot of these mini games, be it Candy Crush or others. Yeah, it's everyone is playing it on the metro, on the plane, and everywhere. Waiting for the bus, people are playing little mini games, and it's not just the younger ones. I mean, the younger ones are more going into the sophisticated titles. Yeah, but other than that, and that's also a fun fact because it's always said, okay, young. A man or boys are playing a lot, yeah. But it's also from a skill game perspective or mini game perspective, actually more women play rather than men. It's also very interesting, yeah, in all age groups.
Wow, that's great to hear. I feel like in blockchain and cryptocurrency itself, it's definitely more male dominated, and if games can make that a more equal gender ratio, then I'm all in for it.
Yeah.
And when through this gamification system as well, you can earn prizes, and also your team has a token that's integrated into the exchange that you can earn. So what are the different ways that what do people actually get when they win through these skill-based games?
No, I mean it's two different things. The gamification engine is just more or less where you get rewarded for everything you do on the exchange, or for example, you log in, you get some experience points in gaming. You're buying something, you are doing some academic courses and so on and so forth. So you get experience points, and then you need as well the token, our own token, the BTX token, to level up at some token gating points. Yeah. So it's always the more users we have and the more users we attract, the higher the demand for the token will be as well, because you always need at a certain level also a certain amount of token to be able to level up and also get airdrops and stuff like that. So you always at some levels, you also then always get airdrops, BTX airdrops, so from our own token. Because also this is very playful, you know, you also get motivated to level up, yeah, or not just to get a new picture of our avatars, but also to get some airdrops and like level up from a ranking perspective. You know, I mean, like I also always thought I'm not that type of guy who's into little mini games or into gamification. But then, you know, we witnessed, and we are now live with our gamification engine for almost 2 months. We witnessed that also user profiles where we would have never expected that they are more or less trying to level up and like really like get to the new level. That these are like not like we have people like age 55, 65 who really like enjoy this, you know, like they do all the tasks, perform the tasks, and buy some token just to come to the next levels and get more discounts on the platform. Yeah,
that's great to
and
hear.
then yeah, and to your question, yeah, then for sure we will implement the games also in the gamification engine, so that if you, for example, play a full game or reach all the levels in the game, you can also get experience points then for the gamification engine. Yeah, but that's the next phase now, coming end of this year, early next year.
And with traditional, regular Web3 crypto exchanges, as you mentioned at the beginning, a lot of the success is dictated by who has the most volume, and that sort of relates to the transaction fees and the revenue that they're generating. Right now, I'm curious on your insight into, where we are in the bull market of new entrants coming in and actually trading and making volumes on the exchanges, and where you think we'll see it in the coming year. Do you think that the gamification part that's newly added is enough to attract and retain new users, or is it more dependent on just the overall market, and when Bitcoin goes up, people get excited and people start trading other coins, and that will really drive the success of BlockTrade in the longer term?
Yeah, I think it's a mix of both, like, I mean, on the one hand, crypto is still in a bear market, and it's really like customer acquisition costs right now are really like high. So it's very hard actually to attract new users, yeah, which is what's very easy in a bull market is very hard in a bear market. But I mean, the more you build up in terms of like tools and like things people like to recommend to others, and that's the boost you need at some point to get new users and more volume. The more you build now for a potential bull market, the better it is than for later on. So we are building now. I think a lot of exchanges are building now products, their platform, and so on and so forth. And those who will survive, and I am very certain we will be one of them. Yeah, maybe even like buying up some users or getting some users from other exchanges. Those will come out stronger of this phase, because you need to look for additional, revenue streams right now as an exchange. Not just looking at the trading revenues. You need to look at other revenue streams. We see those revenue streams also coming a little bit out of the games we aim to implement on our platform, so that we are not just dependent, maybe in the next bear market, on trading revenues. That's what we want to avoid. Yeah, and then that's where a lot of exchanges just focusing on just being a crypto exchange, I think, will struggle. Yeah, I mean, they are like almost all exchanges struggling right now anyway with volume. And if you're not preparing yourself with other revenue cases for the next bear market, after hopefully the next bull market, then it's going to be difficult again. Like, I mean, yeah, just being a crypto exchange and just living from the trading revenues is, from my point of view, as I mentioned it earlier, I think a game for the really big ones. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, good insights, and thinking long term, even beyond the next bull market. How can you make it through that and to multiple cycles?
Exactly.
Yeah, and you mentioned that you've been following, even when you were in traditional finance and banking, following Bitcoin and just the crypto markets before jumping in. With the knowledge that you have so far and looking forward, do you anticipate another bull market coming, in the next year? Will any of these predictions of Bitcoin 250,000, 1 million come true in the coming years? And are you hopeful that in the near future Bitcoin will rise and then these other coins will rise as well?
Yeah, very good question. Very hard to answer, to be honest. Like if we would have a different macro environment, I would immediately say the next bull market is around the corner. Yeah. But now, Bitcoin halving is coming in around 10 months. Yeah. So I could imagine that some bullish signals or more bullish signals are especially coming after the summer. September, October, November, I think could be very bullish months. Yeah. But it also depends a little bit, now what's different to the last bull market is that interest rates are very high. People have much less money right now in their bank account. So it would be even more of a gamble for a lot of people to invest. So I think it's not that, there will be, with the next bull market, also new people will enter the market, but I think they will have a little less money. So I think the next bull market won't be already the bull market that Bitcoin goes to 250,000 US dollars. While I still think this is definitely coming. I'm one of the biggest believer in Bitcoin. It's like, for me, it's one of the biggest innovations we as a mankind are witnessing right now in the last 50 to 100 years. Yeah, so it's one of the biggest inventions, I think, overall, from the combination of cryptography and play theory, game theory topics. Yeah, it's one of the most fascinating things we invented, I think. Yeah, and so it's definitely coming, but I'm not sure how the next bull market will play out. Yeah, and also which additional elements, like last time we've seen DeFi, NFTs, metaverse driving the last bull market. Not entirely sure which elements or which new topics could drive next to the Bitcoin halving, drive the next bull market, or like as you asked for, like drive it also in a new or additional altcoin market next to Bitcoin. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. No, it's a great perspective, Christian, and yeah, it's a very hard question to predict. So, but believing in Bitcoin, it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. It may be in 2 years, it may be in 10 years, but it doesn't seem like it's going anywhere.
Definitely, yeah.
And one of the other narratives that I think might play into bringing new entrants into the market that your team is already on top of is gaming. Not just gamification inside of the exchanges, but if these AAA game studios, like Fortnite or Call of Duty and any of these major gaming players finally start entering into Web3 or more integrate blockchain, I feel like you could drive millions and millions of new users overnight. There's traditional gaming spaces is much bigger than cryptocurrency.
And yeah, definitely. And I've been in Japan last week to attend the Japan Blockchain Week and the IVS Crypto Kyoto, and I went there because I wanted to get in touch with a lot of Web3 gaming companies, game developers, and so on and so forth. And you can't imagine what's going on in Japan, Korea, Taiwan, Vietnam, yeah, in terms of Web3 gaming and or like the combination of traditional Web2 gaming and Web3 gaming. It's incredible. The half of the whole fair of IVS crypto in Kyoto was blockchain gaming. Yeah, it was all about that. And the idea there, I think we made the right decision almost 1 year ago to pivot into this direction. And on the other hand, I think we will see many more things coming to the table there, or like inventions or surprises coming to the table. And as you completely pointed this out in the right way. In Japan, for example, Marble Sega, so the big gaming studios, they're all building up massive Web3 gaming arms, you know. So they are venturing into the blockchain space big time. Yeah. Also, it was also very positive, like feeling about crypto and digital assets in general. For example, in Japan when I was there last week. Yeah.
That's great to hear. And from what I understand, the Southeast Asia region is they're much more hardcore on their gaming than in North America. But it seems like everybody around the world loves games. So I think that it will help when it does integrate into Web3. It will be from all over the world. But I think that major driver from Southeast Asia is going to bring a lot of people into crypto. I think it already has, but once those big studios really release something major, I feel like that's going to be an explosion of new people into the industry. So I'm looking forward to that. What is the plan for the next part of BlockTrade? You mentioned they're adding into more games, like sort of like this, like bigger games, or what else do you have in store?
Yeah, I mean, what's next for us is we will implement games on the platform and also integrate BTX, our token, into some of these games. And on the other hand, we also want to integrate BlockTrade into like gaming platforms, so where you can play more games. To game developers, offer something like we call instant exchange, for example, from in-game digital assets with BlockTrade, so that we fully integrate games on the platform, but also integrate BlockTrade outside, and then combine the communities. You know, that's exactly what we want to reach, so that people not just come to BlockTrade because they want to buy some Bitcoin or other digital assets. They come to BlockTrade also because they have a choice of a really good on and off ramp choice for their Web3 games. They can store their Web3 game assets on BlockTrade. Yeah, can also exchange them into other Web3 game assets and like seamlessly, more or less, like go their way between the games and they are like seamlessly transfer the in-game items, the in-game assets between the games. Yeah, that's my vision of how I want to have this integrated to be able to attract a lot of new users that we are the exchange of choice for Web3 gaming. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm looking forward to it. And I want to check out more of the games that you have right now and follow along for those updates. What's the best way for the viewers to get started in trying out the current mini games and looking for the updates of when that comes out that you were talking about?
Yeah, I mean, just join our Telegram channels, yeah, and then just open up an account. Check out the gamification engine, so our gamification engine. That's, I think, very, very entertaining and very nice. Check out our academy as well to learn more about crypto. And then, yeah, like, I mean, we had a series of mini games, but the real like game integration will only follow towards the end of the year and beginning of next year when we have the games integrated. So this will follow later this year. Yeah, but following us on our social media, Telegram channels, and already opening up an account and enjoying the gamification is already for sure the first step to be closely aligned there when we finally are also offering games on the platform.
Sounds great, Christian. Thank you so much for the insights into the gaming industry and exchanges and BlockTrade. All the best with those updates moving forward. I will leave the link to BlockTrade and the socials that you mentioned in the description box below. And let's definitely follow up in the near future.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Yeah, it was my pleasure. Yeah. Thanks, Ashton.